Hi, this is Emma from Centered Within, and this is about dreaming big. Can you dream big? Is it possible for you to dream big? Now, the reason why I'm talking about this is because it's come up a couple of times for me today. Actually, it came up. My mentor does a Tuesday tarot, and it's a collective reading. You choose the number and you just read what comes from that number, the card number that you've chosen. And I was listening to something this morning as well, and they both related to dreaming big. And it was like, you need to dream bigger. And I was just like, well, how can I dream bigger? Because I thought the dreams that I've got were big, but I'm being asked to dream bigger. Now, when you're asked to be dreaming bigger than you're dreaming, that's asking you to push your imagination beyond, way beyond what's even in your reality. Now, dreaming big, if behind the feeling you say this is not possible, then it's not really that. You're just confirming what you don't have. You're confirming what you probably never will get. You're confirming your reality. But when you dream big and place possibilities, opportunities, or possibilities for opportunities underneath that, or this is going to happen, this is what I want, it changes it. Because you can dream big and to think of just like, well, a lot of people do this on social media. Look, other people, look what they have. But you don't know the journey they've had before. Yes, admittedly, people on social media won't share the ups and downs always, or necessarily the journey it took them to get there and how long it may have taken them to get there. It's really interesting because I follow this woman called Melanie Ann Lay, and she's getting a little bit of a backlash at the moment, as people do online. But I think what she has come to understand is that people now joining her field are seeing her as this, I don't know if she's a multimillionaire, but she can't be far off. And probably maybe sort of seeing her at that, but not looking at her at this whole spectrum. Now, that doesn't mean you have to reflect back, but she started off bankrupt in the front of her car, living in her car in Canada. And I think what I picked up from it, and I don't know the story in and out, people were sort of saying that the program that she was selling wasn't what it's, wasn't what it was said on the tin. What's that saying? Oh, I don't know. You know that saying? I'm not asking for you, and this is a video, so I'm not going to get a reply. What is that saying? It says on the tin. No, I can't think of it. Oh my gosh, it will come back to me. But when you engage in a piece of work, whether it's one-on-one, group work, coursework, whatever it is, there's an element of what you've got to do. Obviously, if they've sold something it's totally different, then there's a big, huge gap. But if they sold something and you don't really want to do that bit, but you want to do that bit, then obviously your outcome's going to be different. And also, depending on where you're entering in your life, what's going on for you, and really where your coach, your mentor is not where you're going to be now. It may take you 5 years to get to where your coach is, your mentor is. You may not even get there. You may supersede them. But sometimes when someone works within energy, you believe that you can get there very, very quick and they'll do it for you type of thing. Now, I don't know the whole ins and outs, but that can be the energy around it. Anyway, but it almost what I understood from the snippets, and this is snippets that I have read and seen, that she said, I forget that people are coming in new, not really knowing my story. Do people need to know your story? No. Yes and no. I'm saying that and I'm writing a book about my story. Yes, people do, but it depends what you're selling. Depends what your yeah, it depends what you're selling. Really, depends on how you're working and what you're doing. Your one-on-one. There are times where you will share, your journey, where you've come from, how you started, and other times it may not be relevant to do so. You may need, you sort of might gloss over it. I don't quite know why I spoke about that. There's obviously a reason why that came through, but the dreaming big, and maybe there's a correlation between the two. Maybe that will come out towards the end. But dreaming big, sometimes someone asks you to do that, you do put in that's just not possible, or surely I've expanded as far as I can expand. How can it be any more than this? What is there possible? And really, what I've already asked for hasn't really come yet or fully come yet. And quite often, when you ask for something, want something, you've got to check what your energy is underneath. Do you truly believe what you're asking, that you're worthy of it, that you will truly receive it? Now, if you do believe all that and you put work into that, are you recognizing what you already have? Or are you looking at what you have, confirming that you haven't got it, and it's just that energy of like, I haven't got it yet, I haven't got it yet, I haven't got it yet? Because when we focus on our reality, dreaming big makes it shrink. Because we're focusing on what is. And that takes away from what we want, especially when you're dreaming big. So sometimes we have to do work around that. And what I mean by work is writing down, working through those feelings that we've got, those layers, those potential barriers that we've got. I mean, if it's a deep ingrained piece of work, that's when you maybe need to work with someone, because they will support you on that. They will look at the layer with you and unpick it, because maybe it's bigger than you actually thought. But then there are times when you can do this yourself. So journaling. Oh my gosh, what's going on with my words today? Journaling is one of the great tools for that, because you can write down, how can I dream bigger? What are my biggest dreams? Now, you're not going to straight away get all the answers. You'll have to sit there, and you'll be sitting there thinking, well, nothing's coming through. But there's a process. It will come through. It just takes time. And you might have to come back to that and come back to that. And you might have to then write out the blocks, or what do they call it? Drain the thread. My mentor calls it. My mentor. Draining the thread. So in your journal, what are my blocks? What are my blocks to dreaming so big? And write down what comes out, so you're purging out. You can see it come out and pour out. And maybe there's an element there that you need to work on, or maybe that's enough for now. And then you can go back to your dreaming big and really pour your energy into it. And be consciously aware of the energy as you're dreaming big. Catch yourself, because you will do it. Well, that's not possible. How can I dream big? Even I do it myself. But when you catch yourself, you change it. You rethink it. Or if you really are feeling that it's just like, you change your focus. Now, all these things I've been doing for a number of years and at great depth. So it takes time and practice. You can't do something in a couple of days it works. And if you do it consistently all the time, you will catch yourself. But because you're doing it all the time, or your practice is really well developed and quite advanced, you can catch yourself. But to begin with, not so much. But if you catch yourself doing it, or you think, oh my God, you haven't ruined anything either. Don't sit there thinking, I've ruined everything now. I've ruined my potential dreams. Because no, you haven't. You've actually done a great piece of work there, because you can see what you've done, and maybe the thought process that takes you down that road, the belief system. How long have you had that belief system? Where did that belief system come from? So a number of things. This is why journaling is quite good, because you can sort of section it out and write it down and do it on repeat and repeat and repeat. And when you have your big dream, or you have there that, so maybe people like writing affirmations that support them in this process. What I used to do, because it came a point, my affirmations were so big, it took me like almost an hour, hour and a half every day to write. And I was just like, oh, this is getting ridiculous. Because they say you should keep writing and writing and writing. I was like, but then it was becoming a chore. See, if anything ever becomes a chore, it's just like, stop. Because it's not supporting you. It's another layer that's adding to, well, this is not working now. So what you can do, and what I've done in the past, is you record on your phone or something. I've done like loads of little voice notes, and then when you're, let's say, going about your day and you are doing the washing up, or you're doing the washing, or there's a period of time when you're doing something, you can listen to it on repeat, or before you go to sleep, listen to it and listen to it and listen to it. So I think what I was talking about earlier on, it's just that you can get caught, or you can believe that that external can give you. No, the external will be a byproduct of what you have already done, that big, huge, massive dream. And that big, huge, massive dream is not going to go vroom the next day and fall on your feet, because you have to be ready to be able to receive it. And if you're not ready to receive it, you'll get an element of it. Why do you hear so many stories that people win millions and millions and millions of pounds and lose it very, very quickly? Because they are not ready to receive that amount of money and everything that it brings with it. Or people that, quickly go into a relationship, but they're just not ready to receive that relationship because there's so much more work they need to do on themselves, and that relationship finishes quite quickly. When you are fully ready to receive, you will receive, but it's never the full end of it. There will be something else. You don't come to that bit and think, yeah, great, done, everything's done, perfect. No, because there's something else, and there's something else, and there's something else, and there's something else. There'll always be something else. So instead of waiting for, when I get there, then I'll enjoy whilst you're going along. Learn whilst you're going along, and you're going to feel days up and down. And that will always be, even when you've got to that point, they're going to be up and a down and up and a down. Enjoy it as you go along. Enjoy the journey, because that element will be teaching you so much as well. Just seeing if there's anything else that needs to come through. No, I think that's it. Sending you so much love.